Next unit, cluster 6. We've got two main parts to it. The first part we're going to work with is long division. We're going to use whole numbers. For 6th grade math, they're usually 4 or 5-digit numbers divided by 2-digit numbers, usually. Sometimes it gets a little bigger or a little smaller, but usually got 4 or 5-digit numbers divided by 2-digit. The other half of the unit, or the other part of the unit, is decimals, and doing math with those. We'll get to those probably starting next week. I didn't even want that page in there. I was supposed to delete that one. All right, so you see here we got Mr. Bradford's class brainstorm different symbols and phrases that indicate division. We have to find the ones that are correct. So as you look at those words, or number phrases, expressions, we need to find all the ones that would indicate or show division. So who can give me one? Quotient. Quotient's the answer to a division problem, so yeah, that means division. What else? Who else has one? Fraction? Yeah, fractions mean division. So that means we got division there, division there, division there, division there. Those are all the ones with fractions. Anything else? Mason? Yeah, it literally has a division sign right there, so that's 460 divided by 12. That's one. There are a couple more. Mason? 181 divided by 9. Ford? Into groups. Sydney? Split. Those are all the ones that mean division of some sort, okay? Fractions are division problems where it's numerator divided by denominator. If you're splitting something, especially if it says split into groups, those are division problems. Quotient definitely means division. And then obviously, these two here, those are division. Any questions? All right, so we want to label the parts of these division problems. I've noticed over the years, this is something people have a hard time with, saying the division problem. So this first one to the left, that's 510 divided by 30, would be how you would read that, okay? The number on the inside is called the dividend. That comes first when you're saying it. The number on the outside is the divisor. So we've got a dividend, we've got a divisor. Dividend goes on the inside when you're writing the division problem this way. The divisor is on the outside. And when you say it, dividend goes first, divisor second. What's the 17? What's that called? Quotient. Yeah, that's the answer. Quotient is the answer for a division problem. So with these other two, we've just got dividends and divisors. They didn't put the answer, so we don't have a quotient on them. The dividend, like I said, is the number that goes first. It goes on the inside. When you have a fraction, the dividend is the top number, the numerator. Then what's that make the 12? Yeah, 12's the divisor then. All right, so based on what I've been saying, who can tell me what is the dividend on the last one? Yeah, 437 is the dividend. That's the number that comes first. When we would write it, it would go on the inside. And then the 19 is our divisor. All right, so based on what I've seen so far in class over these last few months, some of y'all are better at division than others. But all of y'all probably need a little bit of practice. All right, so if we look at this, I've got 28,416 divided by 16. One of the little tricks that you can do when you're working out the division, like I said, first number goes on the inside, second number on the outside. When you're working out the division, if you list some of the factors or the multiples of your divisor. So we got 16, and you're just doing repeated addition. 32, 48, 64, 80. I'm actually going to stop there for right now because sometimes you don't have to list all of them, and that just takes a little more time. If we need to, we can always go and add some more. So then we're looking, we got to line up our numbers as we go. Okay? You're working from left to right. So we're starting with the 2. Does 16 go into 2? No, 16 does not go into 2. So we would put a 0. Do you have to put that 0? No. But what that does is it helps you keep things lined up, okay? And keeping things lined up is important when you're doing the division. So that does help with that. 16 going to 28. Yeah, so what we're looking for is if we look at our multiples over here, we would want the highest number less than 28. So highest number less than 28 is that 16, right? Well, that's 1, so we put a 1. 1 times 16 is 16, and we're subtracting. So when I subtract, I get 12. We bring down a 4. Well, right now, my little chart over here doesn't go up high enough, so we need to go higher. We just keep adding 16. So 80 plus 16, 96 plus 16 is 112 plus 16 will be 128. And we can see we want the highest number less than, so that's right here. So we got a 7. And 7 times 16 is what I got right here. That's 112. So when I subtract, I get 12 again. We bring down a 1. So now we need 121. Well, 121, that's going to be that 7 again. So that's 112. When we subtract, that gives me 9. Bring down to 6. How many times 16 going to 96? 6 times. That's one right on the chart. And if your answer is going to be a whole number, at the end, that's what you're going to have, is one of them that would be on that chart there. So it goes in 6 times. I ran out of space, but when we subtract, we'd have no remainder. For today, we won't have remainders. We'll work with those starting tomorrow. So that'd be our answer, 1,776. Any questions? You don't have to list out the multiples like that, but it is a little trick that's sometimes helpful on this. All right, so if we look at our sheet again, we've got 3 right there. So we got 27, or 1,134 divided by 27. It gives you little squares, and that helps you line it up using those grids. So if I make my list, I'm just going to do it here. I'd have 27, 54, 81, 108. I'm going to stop there for right now. So we look, as I do my division, 27 doesn't go into 1, 27 doesn't go into 11. For 113 then, that 108 goes into it. So that's 4 times because it was the 4th one listed. So that gives me 108. When I subtract, I get 5. We bring down the 4. Well, that's the second one. 27 times 2 is 54. We subtract, no remainder. Any questions on that? All right, y'all try the other two. Gray, what do you get for number 2? What do you say? 204 is correct. All right, so we got 3,672 divided by 18. 18 doesn't go into 3. 18 goes into 36 2 times. 2 times 18 is actually 36. So we subtract, we get 0, bring down to 7. 18 does not go into 7. So we bring down the next number, we got 72. 18 goes into 72 4 times. 18 times 4 is 72. So we subtract, we got no remainder, it gives us 204. I said we could list them out. I don't have a ton of space up here though. And 5,224 divided by 8. Jeremiah? No? Judah? 653. All right, so 5,224 divided by 8. 8 doesn't go into 5. 8 goes into 52 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. Subtract, we bring down to 2. 8 goes into 42 5 times. 8 times 5 is 40. Bring down that 4 after we subtract. 8 goes into 24 3 times. So, gives us that. Any questions on those?